Hey everybody, I thought today would be a great day to kind of walk you through our greenhouse, show you kind of what's going on in here, what we have growing. Here we just have some perennial houseplants, succulents, and we have some cactus in here that just bloomed recently, actually, for the first time. We have some herbs. There's parsley, begonia. This right here is called lemon oregano. And then we have a type of salvia right here, or garden sage. This is called mango tango. I just got that to put out in the yard this year. And then here we have our thornless blackberry patch. And so this right here, I'm debating on moving these out next year. I'm not really sure. I do like that they bear fruit a little bit sooner than the ones outside, and they're more protected in here. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but they do take up a lot of space. But they are full of fruit right now. As you can see, there's just fruit everywhere. So, and then I put some plants in here like marigolds, and this one is forget-me-nots. There's butterfly weed right here. Some of these plants do not get quite enough sun for, as what they need. So I'm not sure that I will not move the butterfly weed outside for next year. And a few other plants. We have a rhubarb plant right here. I am letting the cilantro go to seed. And then I have this is my first year actually planting squash and zucchini in the greenhouse. So we'll see how that goes, if it helps with the squash vine borers. And then over here, I just watered, so they're kind of laying down. But these are strawberry plants. And so if I could beat the slugs to them, we would be doing wonderful. Here are the succulents that are left from this year's freeze that we had. I lost a lot of succulents. There is a clover right here. This plant was actually from my mom, so I take really good care. I was really hoping I didn't lose that one this year, and I did not. I am starting some aloe babies right here. This is our trellis for sugar snap peas and snow peas, and it is just full. It's going nuts right now. I'm thinking about, when this is done, taking it down and putting more squash and zucchini here, something that doesn't get as tall and block a lot of light. I've planted more forget-me-nots and marigold around here. And then we have our seedling rack. These are tomatoes, peppers, more tomatoes, tomatillos, more tomatoes, squash and zucchini, and squash and zucchini down there. I love succulents, so I'm always kind of keeping a little bundle right here in trays. And then we have more tomatoes. This is Mexican mint, and then basil back there, and then more tomatoes. These are purple bumblebee tomatoes. And so I have a few herbs up there on the wall. This is kind of just where we store, everything here, our trays and whatnot. I told myself I was not going to put tomato plants in the greenhouse this year because I had such a bad problem with white flies last year, but here I am trying it again. So we'll see if I had to get rid of them. White flies love heat, and the greenhouse gives them a perfect dry environment. So they were terrible last year on our tomatoes. I've started some chamomile here. We have onions going to seed. You can see the seed pod right there. And we have a lot of things going to seed right now. So this is a lettuce plant, and it's actually going to seed. It kind of looks really cool, standing so tall. But that's what it looks like when it goes to seed. And then we have cilantro going to seed. So these are those coriander seeds, which are just the seeds of a cilantro plant. And I'm going to collect these this year. Our lettuce is full out going to seed, going to flower. So I'm going to be collecting those seeds this year as well. This is our spinach, also going to seed. And then we have 5 cabbages left that I am that did not bolt. And so I'm hoping to harvest those to make chow chow this year. And then as you can see here, I have some brassicas. These are probably going to go to flower because it's only going to get hotter in here. These have already bolted, so the cauliflower isn't really making well. And I'm pretty sure this cabbage is going to flower, so I'm going to let it produce seeds. And then we have our Swiss chard bed over there, and it's doing great. Our Swiss chard last year, 2 years ago, we planted in here, and that's the plant. It actually produced for like a year and a half. It was great. And so some of these are going to seed, but some of them are not. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get some harvest for a while out of the Swiss chard. And then you come on down the stairs, and we're trying to figure out what to put here because all of this is clean right now, but whenever we blow leaves and things that just kind of make their way into the greenhouse, everything just gets trapped down here. So I have to sweep it up and usually just dump it into the beds, compost it, because it's just dirt and leaves. And so we are going to, we thought about putting the same rocks here that's up there in stone, but again, dirt just gets trapped here. So I thought about also the rubber grates that we could pick up and kind of, just seems like a lot of work. So we're just not really sure what to do here yet. Right here we have our Satsuma tree, which is like a mandarin citrus. And then we have I can't remember if this was the red or green variety of grape. We had Mars Hill and then another variety. So this is a grapevine we have going in here. We have the panels, cattle panels set up so that they can kind of just spread along this area. And then this is our newest member, and this is our lime, little lime tree. And so it's doing really well. It's very happy here. And then we have our loquat, which is kind of our centerpiece here. Loquat trees do not get that tall. They can reach up to 15 feet. We're going to kind of keep it pruned down, and also, probably try and hang some of the branches, support branches through the rafters, so that we can kind of control where they grow, just so it doesn't, shade everything out. And then we have some fig trees here that I started the cuttings last year. So we're going to get those outside this year. And then this is our Little Miss Figgy. We needed, plants that were going to stay smaller. Back here, we don't have that much space for, really large, like an actual fig tree. That would be too big. So this is a dwarf fig tree. It's called Little Miss Figgy, so I'm very excited. It did not set fruit last year, so I'm kind of hoping that I see some little fruit buds this year. And then here's the other. I just put some begonias in here. My lavender is looking pretty pitiful. I watered it too much, so trying to let it come back to life. And then we have another grape variety here. And then we have our Meyer lemon, and it's doing really well. We actually have a little problem right now with scales getting on our citrus trees, and I've never dealt with scales, so this is new to me, but I'm gonna spray some soap, just a unscented, maybe Dr. Bronner's, mix that with some water and spray that on during the evening to try and remove the scales, suffocate the scales. And we're really not sure what we're gonna put right here. Here's an old fan. We actually installed a new fan to suck the hot air from above out. And so not really sure. I'm kind of trying to just keep this citrus, just because these plants require a lot less because we have it on such deep mulch. And I do amend it by adding the rabbit manure, compost, things like that. And so this is such deep bedding that the water really, the ground really stays moist. So it doesn't require a lot of watering. Like these plants, I have to water those probably 3 times a week. This is watered once a week, if that. So we have some leeks here. I'm not really sure what they will do, but hoping that they will kind of do an experiment. I have leeks outside and wanted to do some in here to see which one grew better. There's another cabbage. I always love the look of a cabbage. I think they're so pretty. This one's almost ready to harvest. It's doing really good. And look at all of the colors in the rainbow Swiss chard. They just look beautiful. I'm gonna come out here and harvest a big bunch of these today before the sun starts hitting on them. And I also have to harvest the sweet peas because they're just full right now. So this is just a little tour of the greenhouse. So it's actually looking pretty nice. A lot of things gonna go to seed, which I'll collect, and then we will start other plants in these boxes. So maybe put some peppers in here. Not really sure about doing many more tomatoes, but definitely squash and zucchini, just to see how it does with the heat. Because when we hit 90-degree days, it can easily get 130 in here, easily. So we usually lift these sidewalls, but this year we are going to try to actually just use the single fan with the doors open in the front, so that we get the heat, the hottest air, you know what I mean, kind of suctioned out of the back right there. So a lot of food in here, a lot of opportunities to produce food for our family. So we love this greenhouse. We are just still trying to figure it out. Like most greenhouses, you kind of have to, you know, figure them out and see what works best. Different boxes here on the middle part have, you know, different amount of light. And so things like, you know, the Swiss chard grow really well on this left side because it doesn't get as much sun the first part of the day. And so in the lettuce, of course, it's not really in the greatest spot. Probably should have stuck it over here because it is it needs less, you know, heat of the afternoon sun. So just, you know, trying to figure it out, seeing what works. You don't know until you try. So wanted everybody just to be able to check out the greenhouse. I hope you all have an awesome day, and maybe this will help someone or give someone you know, just a vision of something they can create with their own space. Have a wonderful day, everybody.